Discussing what is word, we have now reached two approaches to morphology. Hockett basically coined these two approaches to morphology. One is item and arrangement, and other is item and process. Item here obviously mean the morpheme. Developed by the structuralist, item and arrangement proceeds from a picture of each language as a set of elements and the pattern in which those elements occur. So elements, obviously we mean morphemes, that how morphemes are set into a certain pattern to form words. So with word analysis, using techniques for breaking words down into their components and obviously morphemes, and thus we know that these are the elements or the morphemes. Morphology is the arrangement of these morphemes into a particular order or structure. So in item and arrangement, we see that how these morphemes, these items are arranged to make certain structures of the words. For example, we take the word books and we see that it is an arrangement of the noun, singular noun book and a plural morpheme s. So now it becomes books. Item and process is an approach in which complex words result from the operation of processes on simpler word. So we look at that how the word books has undergone a certain process and becomes from book to books or from books to book. Working in an item and process model, we might say that books result when the lexeme book undergoes the function make plural. So we see that how the plural has gone through a certain process, certain examination or test, and as a result of this lexeme book has become books. In regular cases, this function will add the segment the s, like photos, lions, which is realized when we have certain voiceless ending sound of the stem in s, like giraffes, and is when we have a sibilant and affricate like roses, right? So it has different allomorphs. Item and arrangement and item and process are not very different from each other. They are to some extent equivalent to each other mathematically, especially when we try to analyze on a mathematical model. Everything you can express in item and arrangement can be expressed in item and process, and vice versa. Anything that can be expressed or analyzed in item and process can be done on item and arrangement. Affixation in item and process and item and arrangement. How do we attach affixes to the stem according to these approaches? For example, we have x verb, any verb x, and we add er, and thus we get a noun, which is, for example, if we have think, we add er and we get thinker, run, runner, fly, flyer, hunt, hunter. We generally think of lexeme function, formation function, as having a phonological, a syntactic, and a semantic components. So if we look at this, the lexeme, for example, thinker, has a certain syntactic function. Now it's changed from the verb position to the noun position. As thinker, it cannot be used as a verb. Certain phonological changes has taken place from think to thinker. Schwa is added in the sound, and now there is a semantic change also that has taken place. Think verb and a perception, verb of perception. has become a doer, thinker, one who does the job of thinking. Additive function, these functions, semantic, lexical, etc., like this one, are easily recast in item and arrangement model. We can also have this verb plus er. So agent noun, how do we make an agent noun? Verb plus er, and we get the agent noun. Work plus er becomes a noun, worker. Non-affixal phenomena and item and process model. So now let's look at in which no affixation takes place, especially with reference to the item and process model. Many languages have morphological phenomena that do not involve affixes. For example, Vietnamese is a very simple language in terms of morphology. It doesn't have complex words in it, and there are other languages. So let's look at that. How does it happen in item and process model? These can be represented within the item and process model, but pose problems for some morphological framework based on item and arrangement. So here it comes a little difference that with non-affixal phenomena, item process model can help us in analysis, but item and arrangement has some problems in explaining things in that way. For example, we know that in English, especially two-syllable words having the function of verb and noun have a difference of stress. In verbs, we have stress on the second syllable, and in noun, we have stress on the first syllable. Look at this. We have overflow and overflow, conduct and conduct, insert and insert, reject and reject, convict and convict. So this type of analysis is only possible when we are using procedural analysis, item and process, which is difficult to analyze through item and arrangement. So actually these two models have a little difference, though we said that they are equivalent mathematically, but at certain items, with certain items, they pose a bit problems. We can do analysis with item and process, but we cannot do analysis with item and arrangement.